So how can I tell if I have a stainless steel knife or a carbon steel knife? That's going to be the topic of today's videos. And yes, it's not easy. In fact, it may be quite honestly be impossible for you to tell one another. Perfect example right here. These two knives, right? These two knives. Which one is stainless steel? Which one is carbon steel? Guess. Guess right now. Closer. There you go. Camera's not helping me out. Doesn't matter. Which one is what? Honestly, look at it with your expert eyes. You've been into knives your entire life. You've been collecting knives for 50 years. Tell me right now which one is stainless steel, which one is carbon steel. Happy? You can't, you dumbass. It's impossible. There's no way of knowing just by looking at, right? Guys, as always, if you want to learn more about survival and preparedness and my funny approach to all of these things, but trying to be super honest and transparent with everything else, surviving the economic collapse and street survival skills, my books regarding survival and preparedness, which you have in the links there below. So, as you just saw, it's really impossible to tell one and another, right? You have this one, and you have this other knife. Which one is carbon steel? Which one is stainless steel? One more time. So no, you cannot. Actually, yes, you can. You just turn them around and you see that this one says, let's see if that focuses there, right now. That one says carbon steel. And this one says stainless steel. Oh, all right. Oh, I knew I got it right. No, you did not. They look exactly the same. There's literally, and I think these are from the same manufacturer, the same place in China, because even like the look of the grain of the steel looks exactly the same. So this is a Hultafors knife, and this is a licensed for sure made Stanley knife, probably made in the same place. If anyone knows for sure, that would be nice to know. But even tricking you a little bit, that it had a little bit of dirt there in the stainless one, so it looked like a little bit of, no, but there's no way in hell you can look at these two and just with your naked eye say, yeah, that's one or the other. Impossible. It actually seems as if it was made in the same plant with the same process and rolled in the same way, because even the structural grain looks similar. All right, so having said that, how can you tell? Well, first of all, what is it that you bought? Did you buy a stainless steel knife? For example, I bought this one and it said in Amazon, it said stainless steel knife. So I know already it's a stainless steel knife. These ones said carbon steel, so yeah, I assume it's a carbon steel knife. The second way in which you know is by, well, reading. Usually these blades will have any blade that has any, respectable company that made it will say what the hell it is. Maybe not in all detail, but at the very least tell me if it's carbon steel or stainless steel so as to take proper care of that blade. Because if it's stainless steel, I know I can use it with water, humidity, and not worry much. If not, you have to do something else. So when you bought it, what was it that you bought? You know what you're buying. Second, does the blade say what the hell it is? And then there's little tips and tricks and things that I will share with you so as to know what it is. In general, when you buy a stainless steel knife, it's going to show, and it's going to be something like this. You will have a stainless steel blade, right? Not coated, nothing. It doesn't even need it. Example, right? Another stainless steel knife. This big old cold steel, no coat. Any serious manufacturer that's selling you a carbon steel knife, it's most likely going to be this, for example. This is an older knife. This is stainless steel as well. Any knife, any survival knife that you bought, it's the best knife ever. This is carbon steel, dude. You know what carbon steel is? Carbon steel is awesome. Well, those guys will coat that blade, because if it's any respectable manufacturer, they won't want to see their carbon steel knives rusted all over the internet and people complaining and bitching about it. So in general, carbon steel knives will have some kind of coating. Oh, but that didn't know, because this is a cheap utilitarian knife. But if it has like an SC knife or one of these, better known name brand and more expensive knives, when they use carbon steel, they will have some kind of black tactical epoxy paint or some bullshit like that, or maybe even something like this. This is an Ontario knife, which I like a lot. This is carbon steel and is phosphated finish. Now, not the ruggedest of them all, and you can actually see some marks there that's turning a little bit orange because of rust. Yes, carbon steel will rust. So that's why usually you will see it coated. Now I'm saying usually, and especially with some of the more expensive knives out there, but then you have, again, something like this, which is super utilitarian, and they don't give a damn if it rusts or not. You paid $1 for it. What do you expect? Or even something like this. This is made in Ukraine, a country at war, and they're selling a knife for $40. And yes, it's 1065 or whatnot, some kind of carbon steel. No, they don't bother about putting any coating on it. No, it is war era knife that sells for $40. What do you expect, bro? No, we're not gonna coat your damn BPS knife. It just goes out like that, and you do whatever. You wanna do your own coating, do your own coating. Just oil it every once in a while, or grow a pair and deal with the knife rusting here and there and forming some kind of patina, which will happen. Right, that will happen. This one, as you see, it's really not being used at all. So yeah, it's perfectly fine. But this is a steel that will rust. And if you look closer, and this is yet another tip, your carbon steel knife will eventually start to rust. It will have rust. That's simply the way it is. Some of these knives, I mean, they live in a drawer, man. They're not even being used at all. And this one, even that, having that same, you see some spots. So when you look a little bit more closer, you will see a little bit of spots or little dots or something. Eventually it will happen because it is carbon steel, and humidity and whatnot, it will have those little specks and little things, and carbon steel will eventually form a patina even if you're not using it. That's simply the nature of what this is. And yeah, the more careful you are about it, the less likely it is to be forming and whatnot, but eventually there will be something. And of course, if you end up using it like this one, it will rust all over the place. You can clean it up or whatever you want, but it will happen. This one, for example, this is two Mora knives, stainless steel, carbon steel. These are both polished very nicely. And again, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to say if it's carbon steel or not, unless you actually read what the blade says. Having said that, there are cases like, for example, this thing. What is this? Yeah, of course it's stainless steel. In some cases, you can sort of see how chrome it looks, right? It's not just that it's polished like a freaking mirror. It just feels chromy at touch, right? And even with these two, right, when it's a little bit more matte finish, it's kind of a little bit, but when you have like a polished finish, you sort of see that one is more chrome looking at another. I don't know if it's just an impression of mine, but after so many years, I kind of sometimes have a feeling of some things feeling a lot more like this one, like a piece of chrome metal. That is very much likely to be a stainless steel knife, right? Very little question there. And as I explained before, when it's going to be pocket knives and multi-tools, if you think it's stainless steel, it most likely is, because most pocket knives and folders are going to be stainless steel, especially in multi-tools. Guys, those are my little bits of advice that I have for you folks, in case you're wondering. Then no, one is not always better than the other. No, carbon steel is not the best one ever. In fact, some of the best steels out there and the more expensive ones, they end up being usually some kind of stainless steel with a better performance, right? The cheapest ones tend to be carbon steel, and they're good enough, and they have a nice edge retention, and people like them, and you can easily sharpen them, and so on. Folks, see you on our next video. Take care. Have an awesome day.